She's not from our world. Jung Soo-ah stood frozen in the ladies' room of Tampa's most exclusive restaurant, listening to her boyfriend's mother destroy her future through the bathroom door. Minho will marry Chairman Lee's daughter. She's suitable. This architect girl, she's nobody. If you've ever been told you're not good enough, not from the right background, not suitable for someone's world, this story is for you. Stay watching, because Soo-ah is about to show every person who underestimated her exactly what unsuitable looks like when it becomes unstoppable. Keep watching. The bathroom conversation was just the beginning. The real devastation and the real satisfaction is coming. 4 years of love, erased in 15 seconds. That conversation would make her a billionaire, and Minho would spend his life regretting he listened. 4 years into love, Burns Steakhouse, Tampa. The Tampa skyline glittered through floor-to-ceiling windows at Burns Steakhouse, where reservations required 2 months and a credit card that didn't flinch at 4 figures. Jung Soo-ah felt out of place despite the elegant black dress Minho bought for their anniversary. 4 years together, and she still wasn't comfortable with this wealth. The dress cost more than her parents made monthly at their Dallas dry cleaning shop. "You're thinking too hard," Kang Minho said, his smile warm. At 29, he was everything Tampa society called him: handsome, educated, heir to Kang Construction's empire. What they didn't write was how he made her coffee perfect every morning, or spent 3 hours helping her father fix dry cleaning equipment. "Just thinking about the Riverwalk project," Soo-ah lied. "Client wants modern, historic, board wants traditional. You'll figure it out. You always do." Minho took her hand. "That's why you're Tampa's best architect. Almost. Give it a year." She laughed. "I'm 26 with student loans. Best might be premature." "Soo-ah," his voice turned serious. 4 years together. You're at my place 6 nights weekly. What if we made it official? Move in completely. Or," he paused, "look at houses. Together." "Houses. Together. Minho, are you? I can't imagine life without you." His grip tightened. "Father wants me running more of the company. Honestly, I only handle the pressure because I come home to you. You make everything make sense." Tears pricked her eyes. They'd met 4 years ago at a downtown Tampa gallery. She'd showcased architectural renderings. He'd been dragged by his mother to society events. He'd asked intelligent questions. She'd made him laugh. By evening's end, he'd asked for her number, and she'd almost refused because men wearing watches worth more than her car usually weren't serious about girls like her. But Minho was different. He showed up, met her parents without flinching at their modest home or her father's broken English, celebrated her first major contract, held her through failed projects. "I love you," she whispered. "Yes, let's look at houses." "Minho?" The voice was cold, aristocratic, heavily accented. A woman in her late 50s stood beside their table, like an ice sculpture wearing Chanel. Perfect hair, rigid posture, dark sharp eyes that assessed Soo-ah like livestock. Minho's hand jerked from Soo-ah's. "Mother, what are you doing here?" "Chairman Lee invited us for dinner. Channelside development contract." Kang Mi-suk's eyes never left Soo-ah. "I didn't realize you'd be here, with company." Company dripped with disdain. "Mother, this is Jung Soo-ah, my girlfriend." Soo-ah stood, extending her hand. "Wonderful to finally meet you, Mrs. Kang." Mi-suk looked at her hand like it was contaminated. Didn't shake it. "Girlfriend, how long?" 4 years, Minho said, standing. "I've mentioned Soo-ah. You mentioned someone, not that it was serious." Mi-suk's jaw tightened. "We'll discuss this later." She walked away, heels clicking like a countdown. "I'm sorry." Minho looked pale. "She's surprised. She'll come around." But his voice lacked conviction. "Does your family know about me? Really know?" "They know I'm seeing someone, but not that it's serious. Not that we're moving in together." Silence. "What did you tell them?" "That you're an architect, smart, beautiful. I care about you." He reached for her. "My family is complicated. My mother has expectations. But we matter." "What expectations?" He didn't answer. Across the restaurant, Mi-suk sat with an older man and a young woman from a Korean drama. Perfect hair, designer dress, generational elegance. Mi-suk stared at their table. Even from distance, Soo-ah felt the hatred. "I need the restroom." She walked on shaking legs toward marble and gold sanctuary. Through thin walls, voices from the private dining room. Mi-suk's voice sharp. "That's her? Who he's wasting time with?" "Chairman Lee." "Who?" Minho's girlfriend, Jung Sua, architect, nobody, no connections, no background, nothing. Sua froze. Your son is 29, time he married. Have you discussed Heijin? We're discussing now. She's perfect, educated, suitable family, the alliance we need. And this architect? A distraction. She's not from our world. She'll be gone soon. Sua stood in that bathroom. Expensive dress, expensive dinner, expensive boyfriend, and realized she'd been living a fantasy. She wasn't Cinderella. She was the obstacle to be removed. 3 days after his mother witnessed him with Sua at a restaurant, Minho is summoned to a tense family dinner at the Kang estate in Hyde Park, Tampa. The sprawling waterfront mansion reflects generations of wealth and power, but it has never felt like home to him. At the head of the long formal dining table, his mother, Mi-suk, wastes no time. She reveals she knows about Sua and is furious that Minho never disclosed the seriousness of the relationship. To her, Sua is unacceptable, an architect with no influential family, no connections, no strategic value. Love is irrelevant, status is everything. She presents him with a leather portfolio containing the profile of Park Hae-jin, the daughter of Chairman Lee, highly educated, powerful, and perfectly positioned to strengthen the Kang Empire through marriage. Hae-jin represents a lucrative alliance that would secure major business developments and expand the company's influence. The arrangement has already been discussed. The wedding is expected next spring. Minho refuses, insisting he loves Sua. But Mi-suk dismisses love as a luxury their family cannot afford. She reveals her own past. She once loved a poor literature professor, but was forced into an arranged marriage with Minho's father for the sake of legacy. Happiness, she says, is irrelevant. Legacy is everything. When Minho threatens to refuse, his mother delivers an ultimatum. If he does not end things with Sua by Friday, he will be removed from succession, cut off financially, and erased from the future of the company. His father, Jung-wook, offers no rescue. Though he admits he eventually learned to love Mi-suk, he reinforces the same message. Duty first. There is no alternative for people like them. Left alone in the massive dining room, surrounded by ancestral portraits of men who chose obligation over love, Minho faces the impossible choice between his family's empire and the woman he truly loves. When Sua texts him, unaware of the storm brewing, asking to meet for dinner, his hands shake. Instead, he asks her to come over the next day, because we need to talk. She senses something is wrong, but responds with love. Staring at Hae-jin's flawless portfolio and Sua's heartfelt message, Minho feels the weight of his family's expectations pressing down on him. By the time he leaves the estate, he has already made his decision. He just hasn't found the courage to admit what it will cost him. The next evening, Sua anxiously prepares her downtown Tampa apartment for Minho's visit. His message, "We need to talk," has been echoing in her mind all day. Though he has seen her at her messiest and most vulnerable, she cleans obsessively, makes his favorite coffee, and wears the sweater he loves, hoping everything will feel steady, normal. To everyone watching who's ever been left, rejected, or told they weren't enough, this next part is for you. This is what happens when you take that pain and turn it into power. When you build something so spectacular that the people who rejected you can only watch from a distance and regret. Minho chose duty. Sua is about to choose herself. And trust me, her choice is going to pay off in ways that will make him sick with regret. Keep watching. The revenge isn't violent, it isn't petty. It's something much more satisfying. Success so complete that his apology won't even matter anymore. Back to the story. But when Minho arrives, he looks shattered, exhausted, haunted. They sit on the thrift store couch they once picked out together, a small symbol of the future they had planned. Then he tells her the truth. His parents have arranged a marriage between him and Park Hae-jin, the daughter of Chairman Lee. The alliance has been in discussion for months. His mother only revealed how serious it was after realizing his relationship with Sua was real. The news devastates her. She insists he can refuse. He is 29, not powerless. But Minho explains the cost. If he says no, he will lose everything. His position in the company, his inheritance, his family. He frames it as duty, legacy, responsibility to generations who built the empire before him. Sua sees it clearly. This is a choice. She begs him to fight for them. They can move into a smaller apartment. She will support them while he rebuilds. They will build something of their own. But Minho refuses. He claims he cannot drag her into financial instability or let her sacrifice her career because of him. To her, His reasoning sounds like cowardice disguised as nobility. 4 years of love, promises and plans crumble in minutes. She accuses him of protecting himself, not her, of choosing comfort, money, and family approval over the woman he swore was his future. When she demands he prove she was more than an unsuitable phase, he cannot answer, he cannot fight. And that silence becomes the loudest answer of all. Through tears, she orders him to leave. She forbids him from ever contacting her again. No calls, no messages, no appearances at her projects. If he is choosing duty over her, then he must live with that decision fully. He apologizes, claims he loves her more than anything, just not more than his inheritance. When he walks out the door, 4 years end with it. Sua collapses and cries for hours, but eventually the tears stop. In their place, something harder forms. Resolve, steel. If she is not suitable for his world, she will build one of her own, and it will be stronger than anything the Kang family ever imagined. Month 1 is pure survival. Unable to remain in the city filled with memories, Sua quits her architectural firm by email and drives 12 hours to Austin, Texas, where her best friend Minji offers her a couch and a fresh start. She arrives emotionally wrecked, running on heartbreak and exhaustion. Month 2 sinks into rock bottom. She barely eats, cries randomly, and stares at her phone as if grief might reverse itself. Her parents call daily from Dallas, sensing something is wrong. She lies and says she's fine. Minji pushes her to function, reminding her that 4 years with a man who ultimately chose status over love is not worth destroying herself over. Month 3 becomes the turning point. While scrolling job listings, Sua sees a call for architectural proposals for the Austin Tech campus. Despite her emotional state, she has never stopped designing in her mind. Architecture is the only thing that still feels natural. At 3 a.m. from Minji's couch, she submits a proposal with zero expectations. 2 weeks later, they call. By month 6, she wins the contract. The client connects deeply with her vision of collaborative, light-filled, flexible spaces. When she admits she doesn't even have a firm yet, they tell her to start one and give her 60 days. Jung Architecture Group is born in a shared downtown workspace, fueled by caffeine and quiet fury. Year 1 is relentless building. 16-hour days, the tech campus opens to critical praise, attracting more clients. She hires her first employee. Her parents visit and worry about her exhaustion. When asked if she's happy, she admits she's only surviving, and for now, that is enough. Year 2 brings breakthrough. 3 major contracts, media recognition, a growing team, and a real office. She hears through mutual connections that Minho married Park Hae-jin in a lavish Tampa wedding. She deletes the photos without looking. Work becomes her shield. Work does not betray. Year 3 is explosive. Jung Architecture wins Austin's $40 million Museum of Innovation project, followed by massive corporate contracts, including Samsung and Google expansions. Forbes names her to their 30 under 30 list at 29. During the photo shoot, she admits what drives her: the need to prove she could build something bigger than anyone expected, bigger than unsuitable. The feature goes viral. Her parents beam with pride. She is undeniably successful. But late at night, alone, she still wonders what might have happened if Minho had chosen differently, if love had been enough. By morning, the questions fade, because she has built her own empire, and this time, no one gets to decide if she belongs. The wedding is everything his mother envisioned, a lavish, high-society spectacle at the Tampa Museum of Art with 500 guests, imported flowers, an orchestra, and a couture gown. To the public, it is perfection. To Minho, it is hollow. Before the ceremony, Hae-jin quietly reveals she knows about Sua. Her family investigated. She understands Minho loved someone else. She does not demand love, only kindness. They both acknowledge the marriage is an arrangement, not romance. He promises to try. First year of marriage is defined by polite distance, separate bedrooms, carefully scheduled dinners, surface-level conversations. Hae-jin fulfills every expected role: charity galas, hospital boards, elegant appearances. Minho buries himself in company expansion projects. To outsiders, they are ideal. Privately, they are strangers. At night, Minho lies awake, thinking about Sua. He never reaches out. He believes he forfeited that right. Second year brings cracks. The very business alliance that justified the marriage begins to fail. The channel-side development collapses under environmental issues and investor withdrawal. Kang Construction stock drops. Board members question leadership. Minho works, but without conviction. The passion he once had is gone. Haejin eventually catches him browsing Jung Architecture Group's website. Photos of Sua at groundbreaking ceremonies and award events confirm what she already knows. He is still emotionally elsewhere. She confronts him gently, but firmly. He cannot cling to duty while longing for the woman he left behind. She refuses to compete with a memory. Third year delivers the final blow. Sua appears in Forbes Under 30, celebrated as the founder of a thriving architectural empire. Minho reads the article repeatedly, realizing she has achieved everything on her own. Meanwhile, he is failing at the empire he sacrificed her for. His mother finds the article. For the first time, her certainty wavers. When Minho admits he might have been happy if he had chosen differently, she dismisses happiness as overrated, but without conviction. That same night, Haejin presents divorce papers. Calm and composed, she states the obvious. The marriage was a business arrangement. The business failed, so should the arrangement. She deserves someone who can love her fully. Minho is left untethered. The empire feels empty. The marriage is ending, and the woman he truly loved has built a world without him. When Haejin tells him to go find Sua, she asks the only question that matters. Has he moved on? He knows the answer. He has not. But he also knows he may not deserve a second chance. Jung Architecture Group now occupies the top 3 floors of a glass tower in downtown Austin. From her corner office on the 30th floor, Sua can see 7 skyline-defining buildings designed by her firm. What began on a couch with a laptop is now a global powerhouse. At 31, she is worth $1.2 billion. Her company, valued at $3 billion, has designed airports, museums, and corporate headquarters across continents. She employs 200 people. Forbes returns this time to feature her among self-made billionaires under 35. Now I need to know what you think. Drop a comment right now. Team, she should give Minho another chance, or team, he made his choice, move on. Because here's what's coming. Minho is about to see that Forbes cover. He's about to realize exactly what he lost, and he's going to try to apologize. But should she listen? Should 5 years of success and healing be interrupted by the man who chose his mother over her? Or should she keep moving forward with Daniel, who's proven he's different? And while you're commenting, smash that like button if you're Team Sua. Every like tells me you want more stories where the unsuitable woman rises above and wins, where karma is real and consequences actually stick. Don't forget to subscribe because we drop Korean billionaire betrayal stories 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 p.m. EST. Watch till the end. When asked what changed her life, she answers carefully. She chose to bet on herself. Her viral quote, "Don't wait for anyone to call you suitable. Build your own world, make them beg to enter it," cements her as both architect and symbol. Yet when her best friend Min-ji asks the same question she always does, "Are you happy?" Sua hesitates. She says she is successful, content, but not truly fulfilled. For 5 years she has hidden inside her work, avoiding relationships, avoiding vulnerability. Min-ji pushes her to meet Daniel, a Korean-American tech entrepreneur in town. Reluctantly, Sua agrees to coffee. Daniel surprises her, smart, direct, warm, and unafraid of her past. He acknowledges her heartbreak without pity and relates to family pressure from his own experience. Unlike Minho, he chose independence over expectation. Their conversation lasts 3 hours. He sees her not as a trophy or headline, but as someone who built her own empire. When he asks for a real date, she hesitates, but after 3 days she texts him first. 6 months later, Sua stands at a groundbreaking ceremony for a major performing arts center. Daniel watches proudly from the crowd. After her speech, he hands her coffee and tells her he is proud of her. The words hit differently. Minho had supported her once, but Daniel celebrates her. The distinction unlocks something she had kept guarded for years. For the first time since Tampa, she allows herself to admit she is falling in love again. Daniel promises he is not going anywhere. No family pressure, no duty over love, just choice. That night, looking at her reflection, Sua realizes something profound. She is no longer just successful, she is loved. And this time, the love does not ask her to shrink. The girl once labeled unsuitable has built an empire, found real partnership, and finally claimed happiness on her own terms. A copy of Forbes lands on his desk at Kane Construction headquarters in Tampa. On the cover is Sua, confident, powerful, standing at a construction site beneath the skyline she helped shape. The headline declares her the architect of a billion-dollar empire. Min-ho reads the feature in silence. Her global projects, 200 employees, sustainable design awards, expansion into Seoul, Singapore, Dubai. She built everything from nothing. Meanwhile, he inherited everything and is watching it slip through his fingers. One line cuts deepest. She is dating tech entrepreneur Daniel Choi. He chose me, she reportedly told friends. That matters. The implication devastates him. He didn't choose her. Minutes later, he walks into a board meeting filled with tension. Kang Construction is declining. The Channelside project has officially collapsed with a $200 million loss. Stock prices are down 28% over 5 years. Investors are restless. Even worse, a major Miami expansion contract was awarded to Jung Architecture Group. Sua's firm beat his. His mother subtly raises the issue of leadership succession, hinting at replacing him. She calls him distracted. She is right. After the meeting, his father confronts him privately. Min-ho finally admits what he has never said out loud. He still loves Sua. He never stopped. He chose duty, legacy, family expectations, and is now failing at all of it. His arranged marriage ended in divorce. The company is struggling. His life feels hollow. For the first time, his father drops the facade. He confesses that choosing duty over love did not bring fulfillment, only coexistence and quiet regret. He urges Min-ho not to spend his life wondering what if he made a catastrophic mistake, he must at least try to fix it. That night, Min-ho searches for Sua's contact information. He attempts to draft an email, but every apology sounds weak. What can he possibly say to a woman who has thrived without him, to someone who is loved by a man who actually chose her? Then he discovers she will be the keynote speaker at the National Architecture and Development Summit in Houston. Kang Construction is a sponsor. He will already be there. Houston is only 2 hours away. For the first time in 5 years, the possibility of seeing her in person feels real. He tells himself he may not speak to her. Maybe he just needs closure. Maybe seeing her will help him move on. Or maybe it will break him completely. Either way, he realizes he cannot keep living in silent regret. He needs to face her and the consequences of the choice he made. At the National Architecture and Development Summit in Houston, Sua stands as the keynote speaker before 2,000 industry leaders. A venue gleams with ambition, fitting for a woman who has built an empire from nothing. Min-ho sits hidden in the back row, hood pulled low, unable to leave but unsure he deserves to be there. When Sua steps onto the stage in a tailored navy suit, poised and commanding, she is unrecognizable from the woman who once cried on her apartment floor. She speaks about her journey, about starting with one client and a dream, and about the word suitable. Her message is clear. When people tell you you're not enough, build anyway. Succeed so spectacularly that they are forced to redefine you. The applause is deafening. Min-ho feels every word like a blade. After the speech, he watches her interact effortlessly with industry leaders. Daniel stands nearby, steady and proud. Everything Min-ho failed to be. When the crowd thins, Min-ho approaches her. For a brief second, emotion flickers in her eyes, but it disappears behind professionalism. She gives him 5 minutes. In a private conference room, Min-ho confesses. He calls leaving her the biggest mistake of his life. He admits he should have chosen her, fought for her, been braver. Sua stops him. He does not get to rewrite history now that she has rebuilt herself. She reminds him of the months she cried, of building her company fueled by heartbreak and fury, of questioning her worth. He claims she was always enough. She counters with the truth. If she had been enough, he would have fought. He admits he was afraid of losing his inheritance, his family, his identity. She was afraid too, but she would have chosen him anyway. That is the difference. When he says he wanted to give her a good life, she delivers the final blow. She gave herself a better life than he ever could. His mother once called her unsuitable. Now she says he is unsuitable for her. He asks if she loves Daniel. She refuses to answer. It is no longer his place to ask. Her final words are calm but absolute. He made his choice. He must live with it. She leaves to join the man who chose her. Min-ho remains alone in the empty conference room, confronted with the full weight of what he lost. Not just the woman he loved, but the version of himself he might have become if he had been brave enough to choose differently. At the Kang family estate in Tampa, Mi-suk sits in her manicured garden with Forbes open on her lap. Jung Sua, the woman she once dismissed as unsuitable, is now a billionaire commanding global respect. The irony is suffocating. Minho arrives looking hollow. The board has voted him out as CEO. His father will temporarily take over while they search for a replacement. The empire Misuk forced him to prioritize is crumbling under his leadership. He lays everything bare. He chose duty, married suitable, protected the legacy, and lost everything that mattered. His divorce from Hyejin is finalized. He confesses he saw Sua in Houston, watched her shine, and realized she is now so far beyond him that he cannot reach her. The woman Misuk once called nobody is now more successful than their entire company. For the first time, Misuk feels doubt crack through her certainty. She insists she was protecting him. Minho fires back with the truth. She protected him from love and happiness. Sua had been his passion, his motivation to become better. Without her, he lost purpose. Now he has no wife, no company, and no direction. That night, unable to sleep, Misuk rereads Sua's interview. Build your own world. The words haunt her. She reflects on her own past, on the literature professor she once loved and left behind for an arranged marriage. Curious, she searches for him online. He is not a failed high school teacher as she once claimed. He is a celebrated author with awards, a happy marriage, and children. He built a beautiful life without her. Suddenly, her own sacrifice looks less noble and more cowardly. She forced her son to repeat her mistake. But unlike her, he gained no lasting stability or fulfillment from it. Only regret. The next morning, Misuk asks Minho for Sua's contact information. She wants to apologize, not to repair anything, but because she finally understands she was wrong. She sends an email admitting her cruelty and acknowledging that Sua built a better world than the one she tried to defend. 3 days later, Sua replies briefly. She accepts the apology, but nothing changes. The past remains the past. Minho made his choice, so did she. The response is polite. Final. Misuk sits in her immaculate home, surrounded by wealth and status, and realizes she sacrificed love and happiness on the altar of suitable. The legacy she fought to protect stands hollow, and it is far too late to undo the damage. In Austin, the rooftop of Jung Architecture headquarters is transformed into an intimate wedding venue overlooking the skyline Sua helped build. String lights glow against the evening sky. 200 guests gather. Her parents stand beside her, overwhelmed with pride. She wears a simple white dress, elegant and unpretentious. Daniel waits at the altar, steady and certain. Their vows are quiet but powerful. Sua speaks of rediscovering belief in love after once being taught it wasn't enough. Daniel promises to choose her every day in every world. The ceremony is genuine, free of social performance or expectation. She controls even the narrative, inviting media on her own terms. The headlines celebrate not just a billionaire architect, but a woman who rebuilt her life and chose happiness. In Tampa, Minho sees the announcement online. He sits alone in the now diminished Kang estate. The company has been sold to private equity. The legacy his mother fought to protect has effectively ended. His marriage is long over. At 34, he is unemployed, living off a trust fund, directionless. Hyejin calls to check on him. Ironically, she offers more compassion than his own family. She tells him to seek therapy, to move forward, to stop living inside regret. She is remarrying someone who chose her fully. It is possible, she insists, to begin again. Minho listens but cannot imagine letting go of the only love that ever made him feel alive. 6 months later, the contrast deepens. Sua stands in Seoul at the groundbreaking of her first major project in Korea, a cultural center that will redefine the skyline. Her parents watch proudly. Daniel remains by her side, unwavering. The girl once dismissed as not from our world has built a global empire and returned on her own terms. Meanwhile, Minho sits in a Tampa coffee shop, searching job postings at 35, attempting to rebuild from scratch. He ignores his mother's request for dinner. Through the window, he watches strangers living ordinary joy, something that now feels out of reach. The final image splits their futures. On one side, Sua and Daniel at home in Austin, laughing in their kitchen, preparing for their first child, love chosen, legacy rebuilt on her own terms. On the other, Minho alone in the quiet estate, staring at old photos of a life that could have been. 7 years earlier, Misuk declared Sua not from our world. She was right. Sua built a better one. Minho chose duty over love, and discovered that duty without love becomes a prison. Some doors, once closed, do not reopen. One final thought for everyone watching. If you've ever been rejected, abandoned, or told you don't belong in someone's world, Sua's story is proof that you don't need to fit into their world. Build your own. Make it so spectacular they can only watch from a distance and regret. The unsuitable girl became unstoppable. The suitable heir became irrelevant. Choose people who choose you. Build for yourself. And when the people who rejected you come crawling back with apologies and regrets, you'll be so far ahead that their apology won't even register. Thank you for watching Mimi's Korean Billionaire Stories. Drop those comments. I read every single one. I'll see you Monday with another story of betrayal, karma, and justice served. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment on where you're watching from and what time it is there. Like and subscribe. Let's build this community.